Hi friends, welcome to Civics chapter 4, Gender, Caste and Religion. In this chapter, we shall look at three kinds of social differences which can take the form of social divisions and inequalities. These are the social differences based on gender, religion and caste. In each case, we shall look at the nature of this division in India and how it affects politics. So I have divided this chapter into three parts. In the first video, we shall discuss gender in politics. In the second video, we shall discuss religion in politics. And finally, in the third video, we shall discuss the role of caste in politics. So let's start. Let's start by understanding how society is divided on the basis of gender. So this is a form of hierarchical division seen everywhere. It is not based on biology but on social expectations and stereotypes. Boys and girls are brought up to believe that the main responsibility of women is housework and bringing up children. This is known as sexual division of labor. So now let's see the duties of women and duties of men based on this. Now let's see the duties of women. So duties of women is to do housework, that is the work inside the home, such as cooking, cleaning, washing clothes and looking after children. While the duties of men is to do all the work outside the home. Men also do housework when they are paid for it. For example, most tailors or cooks in hotels are men. Similarly, women do the work outside the house, such as in villages, they fetch water, collect fuel and work in the fields. While in urban areas, they work as domestic helpers, they work in the offices, but their work is not recognized and not valued. So now let's see the role of gender in politics. So due to this division of labor, the role of women in public life, especially politics, is minimal. Earlier, only men were allowed to participate in public affairs, voting and contesting for elections. But gradually, women agitated, and these movements are called feminist movements. So let's study more about these feminist movements. So women in different parts of the world organized and agitated for equal rights, such as the extension of voting rights for women. So earlier, women did not have the right to vote, and after these feminist movements, they started agitating for the right to vote. These agitations demanded enhancing the political and equal status of women and improving their educational and career opportunities. Most radical women's movements aimed at equality in personal as well as family life. These movements are thus called feminist movements. So now let's see the result of these feminist movements. So in other countries like Sweden, Norway and Finland, the participation of women in public life has increased. While in India, women lag much behind men. And India is a male-dominated patriarchal society. This means that male is the head of the family. So now let's see the various forms of discrimination faced by women in India and their solutions. So first is that the literacy rate among women is only 54% compared to 76% among men. A very small proportion of girl students go for higher studies and universities. Parents prefer to spend their resources for their boys' education and neglect their girls' education. Second, proportion of women among the highly paid and valued jobs is still very small. Much of our work is not paid and therefore not valued. Third, the Equal Remuneration Act 1976 provides that equal wages should be given to both men and women. However, in almost all areas of work, women are still paid less than men for exactly the same work. Fourth, parents prefer to have sons and find ways to have their girl child aborted before she is born. Such gender selective abortion led to a decline in child sex ratio which is the number of girl children born per 1,000 boys in the country, to merely 990. Fifth, there are reports of various kinds of harassment, exploitation, and violence against women. Urban areas are particularly unsafe for women. And sixth, they are not safe even within their own homes from beating, harassment, and other forms of domestic violence. So, one way to empower women is to have more women as elected representatives. But the problem is that in India, the proportion of women in legislature is very low. For example, women members in Lok Sabha in 2014 were only 12% of the total strength, and women members in State Assembly are less than 5%. In this aspect, India is among the bottom group of countries. Even when a woman becomes a chief minister or even prime minister, the cabinet is dominated by men. So the solution to this problem is that to make it legally binding to have a fair proportion of women in elected bodies. 1/3 of seats in local government bodies such as the panchayats and municipalities is reserved for women. Women organizations have been demanding similar reservation in Lok Sabha and as well as the state assemblies. A bill with this proposal is pending in the parliament. So, this is all for today. Stay tuned for the next videos. Thank you.